Hi, welcome to your pregnancy Yin class. So this class is suitable for anyone throughout any trimester, any stage in pregnancy. I just wanted to go through a few things before we get started. So first of all you're going to need for this class is something comfortable to be doing your class on and 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use books, you can use 2 pillows, just something to prop you up for a few of the exercises that we will be doing. So Yin yoga is about working through the connective tissue, the bones, the ligaments in the body. So we want to be stretching the body, but because in pregnancy you release a hormone that makes you extra flexible, there is a chance throughout doing stretches that you can injure yourself because you can just think that you can go really far and then it can cause injury. So I just want you to be aware, and I don't want you to be scared of having to stretch, because you need to be stretching throughout your pregnancy, and these Yin classes are beautiful for you to do. I just want you to be aware of the fact that you don't want to go beyond what you used to be able to do, and you don't want to be going too far in your stretches. So if you think it's just you're stretching a little bit too far, just bring it back a little bit as throughout the class. Besides that, Yin is a beautiful practice. It's good to do throughout your pregnancy so that you can get a different side of working through the bones, the ligaments, opening up the hips. We'll be doing a lot of hip opening stretches today, which will be perfect for your birth. So I'll stop talking now. Let's get started. Grab your mat, grab your blocks, and let's get started. Okay, so we're just going to start in an easy pose, coming into a seated position with your legs crossed. So if you've never done an easy pose before, just coming to what feels good for you with your legs crossed. You can place a block underneath your sit bones. We're just going to slowly start closing down the eyes as you sit up as tall as you can. So we want to elongate all the way through to the crown of the head. Slightly tuck your chin in, soften through the shoulder blades, close your eyes and breathe. So we just want to slow down now. We want to bring ourselves to our breath, as this is going to be the anchor throughout each pose that you do. You're going to bring yourself to your breath. Unclench your jaw if you feel like it's clenched. Try and soften a little bit more through the shoulders as you breathe out, but keep the lengthen through the spine. Now place one hand on your heart center and one hand on your baby. You can use this class as connection with your baby, to you and your baby, time for both of you together to either get to know each other, feel the movements of your baby as you place your hand on your belly, or just bring love down to the baby as you take inhales in. Try and really expand through the chest as you breathe in. So you're really opening up the lungs. We're creating more space to breathe and creating more space for the baby to be able to grow in our bellies, or in your belly. I'm not pregnant. But I have been. I'm 7 months postpartum, so I know what it's all about. So I'm not going to do much talking throughout the poses. I really want you to go inwards and come into your breath, be with your baby, be with yourself, and really cherish this time that you're spending with yourself. So I'll guide you through each movement, I'll guide you out of each movement, but you will be in them for a fair while, some of them may feel like, and I just want you to know that. Keep breathing. If your mind starts to wander, always bring yourself back to your breath. Try not to think about what you're doing today, what you're doing tomorrow, what you've got to do after this. Just use this time to be present, be with you and your baby. All right, just a few more moments here as we just settle in. We're going to do 3 big deep breaths and sigh it out. So we're just going to release even more. It's okay if you can't sigh it out. If you need to be quiet, you can just do a small sigh or just a breath out. But just really try and release through and release your energy and soften a little bit more. So let's take the biggest breath you've taken all day. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Well done. Gently release the hands down. Open up your eyes. We're going to go into our first pose called caterpillar, and it's going to be stretching out the back of the legs. So we're just going to come into a seated position. You don't need your blocks yet, so they can just come to the side. Lengthen the legs out. We want to accommodate for our bellies, especially if you're later on in the pregnancy. So open up the legs, just the feet can be in line with the hips here. Bend through the knees. So we don't want to go too hard today. So we're going to bend through the knees nice and generously. Take a deep breath in as you lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, slowly start to crawl the fingertips down as you lower the head. Keep crawling till you reach a point where it feels nice, where you're not overstretching. And then hold it here. Now tuck the chin in towards the chest and really round through the spine. So now I want you to know that yin is not about your posture. We're going to be doing a lot of rounding through. It's about relaxing into the pose. It's about no activation. So now I just want you to think about letting go of the feet, either they turn outwards or inwards depending on your posture, and just staying here as you're breathing. There's no activation through the legs. Once you find a comfortable position, you may find that you can straighten the legs out. And if that feels good, then definitely do that. And as the stretch goes on, you may even feel that you can crawl the fingertips closer towards the feet. Keep anchoring yourself to the breath and stay here, stay present, stay with you. All right, a deep breath in, inhale. Slowly start crawling the fingertips back towards you. Stacking the spine, sitting up nice and tall. Bring one foot to the thigh, going into our half butterfly. Now we're going to rotate towards the straight leg. Now it's okay if your belly does get in the way here. You can just go a little bit to the side, so we don't have to go all the way facing towards the leg, just slightly. If you can, rotate towards the leg. Hands come down by either side of the leg. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly come all the way back down. Now, no activation through the foot here, so let the foot roll out, let the knee roll out, and just relax down and anchor your breath. You can close down the eyes through these. I find it a lot more meditative and a lot more relaxing. inhale. Slowly start crawling the fingertips back, stacking the spine. Take your time coming up. Well done. Now we'll do the other side. So extend the other leg away, bring the other foot to the thigh, go to where feels good for your body to accommodate for your baby, and then just slowly start coming all the way back down into your stretch. Loosen the legs so there's no tension. The foot's rolled out. You're rounding through the back here. So don't worry about lengthening through the spine. Tuck the chin towards the chest and just breathe. Okay, deep breath in, slowly crawl the fingertips back, stacking the spine. Take your time, be gentle with yourself as you come up. And now bring both feet together, going into our full butterfly. So we want to just lengthen as much as you'd like through the spine. Bring the heels nice and close to the buttocks, but the feet are together. And then we'll go down into our butterfly. So your hands can come down either side of the feet, and then slowly start crawling them away. Tuck the chin towards the chest. Again, you can crawl away even further if you just feel that you want to come down into this stretch even more. Gentle inhale, and then slowly crawl the hands all the way back so we're coming up to a nice tall seated position. Well done. We're going to go into our dragon pose now. So I want you to have your blocks at the end of the mat and come to a 4-point kneeling position. Okay, so once you get here, it's the right leg that we're going to be stepping forward first. So take your time, you can come up onto the fingertips and just bring the right foot forward. And if you've done yoga before, it's a low lunge position. So just shuffling the foot to where feels good. Now you have your blocks here that you can place either side where your hands can go. You can put it on the highest level to begin and work your way down to the lowest level if you start to feel a little bit more of a stretch throughout. Or if you're just happy in the highest level, stay there. You don't even need your blocks for this. You can just have your hands down on the mat. If you were able to do that before your pregnancy, I would recommend that. But if not, just be kind to yourself and maybe just go up a level. So just keep the accommodation here for your baby. Try to even turn a little bit to the side so you can have your the baby there and you're in a more comfortable position. And then I just want you to slowly tuck your chin towards your chest and stay here. Have even weight on your fingertips. Unclench your jaw, breathe. All right, deep breath in. Slowly place the blocks to the side and then bring your right foot back. Come into a downward facing dog. So we're just going to come all the way up, stretch it out, rebound that pose because it is a really intense stretch. And we're going to stay on the right leg here as we go into our sweeping swan. Our sleeping swan, not our sweeping swan. We will be sweeping our leg up though, so that's probably where that word comes from. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our right knee really, really close to our right wrist and then shuffle our right foot over towards our left hand. So you can see there, we're coming over. Now, untuck the toes of the left foot and have that leg just nice and long, relax it. And then you've got your blocks here to help you. So you can either stay in this higher position and tuck your chin towards your chest. That's a really good option, especially if you're just feeling like that's overstretching. If not, you can come all the way down. You might need to rotate a tiny bit to accommodate for your baby. And then what you can do is if you can't come all the way down, you can try and adjust your blocks to what feels good. So you can have one on the lower setting and one on the medium and just rest your forehead down on the blocks. And maybe eventually throughout the minutes as they go past, you might be able to lower it down, or if you just feel like you don't want much of an intense class today, keeping the level high, go with that. Just go with what feels good for your body. Knowing that you can always come up and down a level to what feels good for you. Okay, deep breath in. Slowly bring the hands back as you press through the body. Deep breath out to come up. Tuck the back toes under, so your left toes. Press up and just come to a 4-point kneeling position. Nice and safe coming out of that pose. When you're ready, tuck the toes under and take yourself back to a downward facing dog. If it feels good, you can kind of walk it out a little bit here, bending one knee, straightening the other, and just feeling the difference between each side of the body before we do the other side. If you want to just stay in stillness, you can as well. The next thing we're going to do is step the left leg forward, going into our low lunge or our dragon in yin. So take a deep breath in, lower down onto the knees first, and as you exhale, bring the left foot forward, shuffle it around to where feels good for you so you can accommodate for your beautiful baby. And then you can shuffle that back knee a little bit too if you want to go into the stretch a little bit more. Your blocks should be at the end of your mat, so they're there for you to take so that you can really get into this stretch in a safe way. And then just going into this position here. Take your time if you're not there yet, it's okay. Spread your fingertips, press down, tuck the chin in towards the chest, and just unclench your jaw and breathe. This is one of the most intense stretches in Yin, but it's one of the most beneficial, especially for pregnant women. It's really opening up your hips for birth. All right, inhale, pressing up, take the foot back, place the blocks to the side, back into your downward facing dog, press up, hips go all the way up towards the ceiling, look towards the toes, spread the fingertips. And now let's do the other side with our sleeping swan. So we're going to slowly bring the left knee towards the left hand, lower it down just before the wrist, and then you can shuffle or even use your hand. I find with my left I need to use my hand a little bit more to bring the ankle up. And you can bring the ankle close down to the pelvis. It doesn't matter with Yin, it's just about being a bit more comfortable than being in the right position. So yeah, so you just want to make sure that you're in the position that what feels good for your body, and it may feel different compared to not being pregnant too, so just keeping that in mind. And then remember, you've got your blocks here, so you can come down, you can lower, and then when it feels good, you can get rid of the blocks, or if you lower down and it's starting to not feel quite good, bring yourself up on the blocks. Deep breath in, bend through the elbows, press through the hands, tuck the back toes under, come to a 4-point kneeling position. And then when you're ready, back to downward facing dog, our last one here, just to rebound off the pose. And an inhale, lowering the knees down. We're going to open the knees as wide as the edges of the mat. Bring the big toes together and sit the sit bones down onto the heels or towards the heels. Now you're going to extend the arms into an extended child's pose all the way, lowering the head. If that is too intense, use your blocks. So you can use your blocks to then put your forehead down. So to what feels good for your body.
Now there's no activations here, so we're just nice and soft. On your exhale, you can just sink down into the mat even more. Inhale.
We're going to come up, but we're going to go into thread the needle. So we're going to keep the bottom half exactly how it is. It's our child's pose, but thread the needle. And your right arm is going to come through to the opposite side. And then we're going to lower all the way back down with your cheek coming down onto the mat and extending the left arm, back up towards the edge of the mat. Just opening up your shoulders and upper back. Such a good stretch to do throughout your pregnancy. Breathing and sinking down into the mat.
Deep breath in, come all the way up.
You're going to go all the way to the other side with the left hand coming
Through and just lower back down, resting, connecting with your breath. Inhale, come all the way up. Extend back to your child's pose and rest here. This is our last pose before Shavasana. Okay, we're going to slowly make our way to either our back or our side. So slowly come all the way up. If you're feeling too uncomfortable to lay on your back, you can just lay on your left side for your Shavasana, which will look more like, especially if you have a block or a pillow, place it under your head, extend your left arm and just come into where your legs are at 90 degrees. This is such a beautiful way to do Shavasana throughout your pregnancy. If not, if you feel comfortable, come onto your back, especially if you're after 16 weeks, I would just recommend laying on your side. Place your palms facing up, let your feet just go out to a natural position of what feels good for your body, and sink down into the mat and breathe into your Shavasana. In your Shavasana today, I just want you to focus on your breath. If you feel that you want to connect more with your beautiful baby, that you're growing, you can place one hand on your belly, one place on your heart. That's such a nice way to connect. If not, hands come down, palms facing up. All right, take the biggest breath in. Feel your lungs, and then exhale, release it all. Sink down into the mat even more. Slowly start wriggling your toes, wriggling your hands, coming back to this room if your mind didn't wander. And then if you're not on your left side, we're going to meet everyone who's on their left side there. So just slowly roll over, opening the eyes, pressing up. Take your time getting up.
There's no rush. Press up with both hands. Come to a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your class. I'll see you for the next one. Namaste.